You're watching YouTube videos, you're watching Netflix, you have to throw water onto your face. That involves actual movement.
And what's interesting about that is
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another video. What we wanted to discuss today was the practical nature of Islam. A lot of people, they have contentions towards religion, but what's really interesting about Islam is that there's a real practical nature in relation to what we do as Muslims every day. One of the most common deeds that we do, the most common deed that we do, is that we pray 5 times a day. And what I always find interesting about our prayer, compared to the general idea or the stereotypical idea of meditation, for example, or contemplating and trying not to think of anything or focusing on your thoughts, is that in the prayer there's a real physicality that is involved when you actually pray. As a Muslim, there's the requirement that you get up, you wash yourselves, and sometimes you might go out and you can pray. Say you're a student, you don't have any classes on a particular day, you're just chilling out, you're watching YouTube videos, you're watching Netflix. The time for prayer comes, you have to get up, you have to get up out of your bed, you have to go to the bathroom, you have to wash your face, you have to throw water onto your face, wake yourself up, you have to wash your hands, you have to wash your feet. This is the ritual that we perform before we pray as Muslims, the ritual prayer. And the prayer actually has different stages where you're standing up, you're then bowing, you sit down, you're in the prostration with your face on the ground. There's real physical activity that's going on. And perhaps you might go into the mosque and you can pray behind the imam, the leader. There's a real sense of community that Islam brings, especially the prayer. That's what we're focusing on today.
that's right. And what's interesting about that is it doesn't matter what kind of day you're having.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
this is a must in all situations, that you have to get up and you have to pray 5 times a day. It's obligatory, it's not optional. Like Hassan was saying, that even on your lazy day, even on your rest day, it's an absolute must to get up when it's the time of prayer and to pray. And especially when you put yourself through that, it's very difficult to stay that level of lazy even. And in Islam, laziness is not a characteristic of a believer. So a person who believes they are a true Muslim, they must get up under all circumstances. And what's great about it is that if you choose to go to the mosque, for example, for one of these prayers, then no doubt you're going to be interacting with other people at the mosque. And the social aspect of Islam is kept alive there as well. That basically, under all circumstances, you can't really end up as a recluse. And obviously, that has many benefits for mental health, etc.
So we were given a bit of an extreme example, but what's a lot more common nowadays is people who work in offices, people who work at their desk. They're sitting at their desks the whole day, and they're looking at this screen, absorbing all this light.
Hunched over in a terrible position.
Exactly. And obviously it's recommended that, like, even as Muslims, you get up, you exercise, go out for a walk, you need that fresh air. But even if you don't do that, as a Muslim, you still have to get up out of your seat. Instead of taking a break, you change the tab. In the lieu of taking a break from absorbing all this light and all this information from this computer, sitting with bad posture for a few hours, you decide to sit in the exact same position, absorb the same amount of light and information, but go to a funny YouTube video and do that instead. Instead, 5 times a day, Muslims have to get up. You have to wash your face, you have to wash your body and your feet, which, if you're not a Muslim, it's not a very common thing to do 5 times a day that you're going to do that. And then you pray in a very physical way. That's something that's really important, and something that's very topical for us today, where so many people are living sedentary lifestyle.
The standard these days is a sedentary lifestyle, and you can. It's very obvious. You don't even need to look too deep into the science to see the negative effects of that. That's not what we're meant to be doing as humans. As humans, we're built for movement, constant movement, and that's what makes us healthier. So especially in this day and age where kind of most of our professions or most of our work is done in a seated position, especially in front of a computer, in that terrible position, in that terrible posture, having a belief system that almost forces you to get up every so often and to take a break essentially from that and to disconnect it's a very advantageous belief system to have, because when you believe that that's obligatory, you're absolutely going to get up under
You don't have a
even
choice.
even if
You're
you're
going to do
lazy.
that.
Even if you're lazy, you still get up. Even if you're, what's great about it, it also in many ways it increases productivity as well, because when you give yourself no option but to do that at a certain time, then what you're going to do is you're going to do your absolute maximum to be as productive as possible, so you can take those 5 to 10 minutes off and then get back to work.
That was us just focusing on the physicality of the prayer, just
That's
the
right.
physical benefits of getting up, washing
right.
yourself, and the actual prayer that you're uttering these words of remembrance of God, that involves actual movement. That's us just focusing on the physical aspect of it. We didn't even get into
The mental side of
the
it,
mental side, the spiritual side, the words that you're saying,
the meditative qualities of
all,
it.
all the rewards that you get. And so I think that's it for this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Mashallah, brother.